Theophilus Tetechai is a member of parliament for Ablekuma Central. He's also a member of the NDC's campaign team, should I say. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama's campaign team ahead of the 2016 general elections. He's my guest on AM Talk this morning. Mr. Tetechai, good morning. Many thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Right. Good to have you again. Seeing that you're a member of the NDC's campaign team ahead of the elections, I think it was just proper for us to take a look at what to expect in your manifesto. We do know that there'll be a manifesto launch highlights later today, and there's the president himself who is doing this. So maybe you could take us through a bit of what to expect this evening, and then we'll start off the conversation.
First of all, let me say good morning to your cherished viewers, and also to thank the people of the Central Region, especially areas that His Excellency the President visited last week. This week, His Excellency the President will be in the Greater Accra region. We will visit some key constituencies within the region. Of course, my constituency, Ablekuma Central, is also part of the visit. But in fact, this week will be a very busy week for His Excellency the President. Today, as we all know, it is the day for our manifesto highlights to be presented. For some weeks now, that's after our campaign launch, we did promise the people of this country that we were going to launch our manifesto. And there were a whole lot of hula baloo about why the manifesto was not being launched and so on and so forth.
What was the reason for the postponement?
You know, the campaign team needs to actually ensure that everything has been put in order. We should have exactly what is going to be presented. His Excellency the President should also have an opportunity to also look at the final draft, because at the end of the day, he is the one who is going to champion the agenda together with the Vice President. So all these things were taken good care of. But then we're also looking for a suitable day that will enable us perform this function. Since the President is performing a dual role as President and then as a party flag bearer. So we had to sit down and then strategize in terms of a day that will be suitable. We intended doing it, that was yesterday, but because of the Muslim festivity, we needed to give them that honor. Mm-hmm. And so therefore, the program has been shifted to today, Tuesday, at the banquet hall.
State House banquet hall.
Banquet hall, yes. You know, we were also looking for to have access to the conference center. But
you also didn't
they have
so it's not peculiar to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Yeah. You see, after the last time I was telling you that it was just a propaganda, just to create a bad image for the government.
Okay.
But we are in government.
Yes, you are not getting access to the international conference center. So there's no malice anywhere.
Exactly.
Nobody is seeking to witch hunt anybody or prevent.
So today at 7 p.m., as been stated by the spokesperson, His Excellency the President will highlight the party's manifesto.
Okay, we'll be back in a bit to get some thoughts on really what to expect in this presentation by the President later this evening. Let's take a break. When we come back, though, we'll be joined by a member of Parliament for Bantama, Mr. Kokofu. He'll be joining us on the show this morning. We'll be back shortly. Stay with us. Henry Kwabena Kokofu is member of Parliament for Bantama constituency in the Ashanti region. He is our other guest on AM Talk this morning. He just joined in the conversation. So Kokofu, good morning. Many thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Right. So just before we took that break, Honorable Tetechai was taking us through what to expect later today as the President presents highlights of the NDC's manifesto at the State Banquet Hall. So maybe you could wrap up on that.
Yeah. So as part of that particular manifesto highlights, His Excellency the President will be highlighting some of the things that we've been able to achieve over the period.
As in things in your Green Book?
Green Book, exactly. Okay. And then That is our future plans for the entire nation in the next 4 years. We've invited a lot of dignitaries. You know, this is supposed to be a function that will be attended by people from academia, youth groups, the diplomatic corps, our chiefs, and a lot of civil society groups, the religious bodies, people that will actually look at what we intend to do for this nation, and then they also go back and then digest and see how feasible.
Will you be seeking inputs at this highlights launch, should I say?
Well, for inputs, I will not be able to tell. Yes, in presenting our manifesto, we've taken on board concerns of broad sectors of this economy in terms of different shades of opinion. Yes, but as a party, we are there for the people. The people are our base, and so therefore, they are the people that these things are being geared towards.
Okay.
It's not an imposition, no, but all the things that we put in place for this manifesto are things that the good people of this country want His Excellency the President to embark upon in his next 4 years as a leader of this country. So we'll bring on board if there are some new challenge. But looking at launching the manifesto itself on Saturday, well, let's see what happens. But that is why we are in government. And as a listening president, I believe that if there are some concerns that the good people of this country feels should be incorporated into the manifesto, I do believe that His Excellency the President will create room for that.
Speaking of concerns, quite a number of people seem to have some concerns, particularly with certain comments that are being passed by the President. There's a quote: "My second term will bring economic transformation." And for many, this is not the first time the President is saying this. And there have been a lot of comments alluded to him saying that, well, the economy is ready for takeoff. He's quoted as saying this in 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017. How long does it take for an economy to take off?
You see, I've always said that an economy is not a static arrangement.
So we take off every year?
It's dynamic. Every president has his own term in office, okay? And you take a decision as to how you want your term in office in terms of economic development should be, okay? So I come into office, I meet the economy of this country at a particular level, okay? In terms of infrastructural development, in terms of human development, and so on and so forth. So as a president, within my first 4 years in office, this is what I intend to do, okay? To build upon the already existing development. After I have done that, in my second term in office, this is what I also intend doing. So building an economy is not a one-time thing. So I believe that you shouldn't be confused about the fact that a president comes into office and tells his people, this is what I want to do.
When the president was campaigning in 2011, in the build-up to 2012, the message was that himself and the then president, the late president John Evans Atta-Mills, had laid the proper foundation for a massive takeoff. There were a lot of projections that were made, projections that, if you go into the statistics, I mean, many have largely not been met. But at the time, the word was that the economy was ready for takeoff. Now the president is coming with the same message, and the question is, why should we take him serious now? He said the same thing the other time, he's saying the same thing now. And based on, I mean, despite all those things he said at the time, it doesn't appear that so much has changed between that time and now.
So much has changed, okay? In terms of, let's say, infrastructural development, okay? Currently, there are a lot of hospitals that have been built. There are some that are at completion stages.
Do they include CHIPS compounds?
Any health facility that you talk about, okay? Now, after the completion of these facilities, what need do you expect? You expect staffing of these hospitals. You expect patients to now have access to quality health care, okay? So if the president says that this is the next stage of what I put in place, you should understand that.
On what basis did the president make a similar comment in 2011?
It's the previous, the predecessor did a lot of economic development for this country.
So at the time, it was economic development, and now is infrastructure development. Is that the distinction?
Both economic and infrastructure.
No, I need to know the distinction because
human development. Everything
now
goes together. Okay, somebody started something, which he came to continue. He's also put in place new projects.
So he has now set his foundation. He has now laid his foundation.
And he is now entering into his last phase in office. That's the last 4 years in office.
The takeoff period.
And as a president, for him, that is his takeoff period. Because for the 4 years, he has put in place the right infrastructure in terms of energy, in terms of health, in terms of education. So his next 4 years is to see these things translate into human development.
I see.
So when the president says it's now time for economic takeoff, that is what is essentially
the president is asking Ghanaians to give him a second term because it's now time for him to get the economy to take off. Let me just put it that way, seeing that he has laid the proper groundwork, the foundation for a massive takeoff beginning 2017.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. Greetings from Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Alhaji Bawumia, as I wish our colleagues in the Muslim community, our eminent Chief Imam and other brothers and sisters, a happy Eid al-Adha yesterday.
Right.
I think we are fortified and purified spiritually by that celebration. Going forward, I can only see a sign of desperation. I can only see a sign of frustration. Imminent defeat staring in the face of the president and NDC. They are confused. And I weep for Ghana if at this stage, within the next 3 months to elections, if you have president so desperate and confused as to how to go around things and all those things, to couple with the management of the economy and the country as a whole.
Why would you describe the president as confused? I mean, he's just making a statement, and his statement is premised on the fact that he believes he has laid the proper foundation for a massive takeoff of the Ghanaian economy, and that is to everyone's benefit. So why would you describe him as? We
do not know what kind of nation or what kind of contractor, so to speak, going to have a project and the foundations will be built and built on and built and built.
The one who wants to make sure that the building does not in any way collapse. He wants the
2009, when NDC under Professor Mills assumed power, they wrote a letter through the then finance minister, Dr. Kwabena Duffuor. They wrote a letter to IMF and World Bank praising the very solid foundation of the Ghanaian economy, telling the whole world that we have a resilient and robust economy, and that coming on board of the oil revenue, we're going to take off and we're going to transform the economy of this country. Since 2009, it was said. And flowing from there, each year, in and out, we've had promises of, the next year is going to be a takeoff. Next year we're going to have, there's future. Next year, every day and then.
Is that not a mark of someone who is very meticulous, wants to make sure he gets it right? You don't just take off and then you say, okay, yes, I said we're taking off, but we need to backtrack and do a few more things before we take off.
2009, you acknowledged and you accepted the fact that the foundation was so solid, and that coming onto board, we're going to have oil economy, oil added onto our economy. So the fundamentals, what we have, is enough for us to take off and transform the economy. That is what they said. We did not say for them. Nobody said it for them. So how many years on do you need to build the foundation and build the foundation and build the foundation? 2012 at IEA debate, Tamale, when Nana Danko Akufo-Addo talked about transforming the economy, moving the economy from the Guggisberg model to export-oriented one, where we will not be dependent on exporting primary products. Rather, we should be adding value to, we should be modernizing agriculture, put industrialization policy in place, so we'll be feeding our industry and then add value to our products so that we will send them out. He said, yes, your government have put things in place and all that, and coming forward and taking over, that is what we're going to do. He said it. And 4 years on, 3 months to elections, then we coming to tell us that the economy will be transformed when in your second term. So transforming people's life and transforming Ghana and all those things that you've touted yourself up. Now it is 2017 that the takeoff is going to happen. Please, we need not put a dust in the eyes of the people. The average Ghanaian, the woman at the Bantama market, the man at doing the trotro and the taxi trade, the man at the farm, at Mredane Amakrum, he knows what is happening in this country. And they do not have a shred of confidence in this government.
But there's been a lot of transformation. There's been the Commander Sugar Factory, there's the Orange Factory, which we've been promised. The shoe factory is now working. There are other factories, particularly in the Upper West region, that have also come on stream now, working. These were defunct factories. They have been defunct for 15 years. Under your leadership, we didn't see them transformed.
15 years, you said. Out of 24 years of this Fourth Republic in Ghana, NDC have had cumulative of 16 years. We've had 8.
But you had the opportunity
under
to revive
59 years of Ghana, NDC have had a cumulative advantage of 27 years ruling this country. We've had 10 and a half years. Now, don't talk about Commander. Commander is a sad case now. Even now, the government is looking for buyers to buy Commander. Don't talk about it.
They call it private-public.
Look at that. Then
they're not selling it. Nobody's saying.
And is Commander working? I saw a woman at a VIP from Kumasi. Where she said she was going to Commander to go and have some sugar so she can go and retail. I said she should go back. It was a hearse. It was something that was never to be. Now, let's get to the fundamentals. What kind of foundation that has been built and on what? As we speak today, Public Interest and Accountability Committee, PIAC, have indicted the government saying that $200 million of oil money that they said have been earmarked for projects and projects completed in the 3 northern regions, Upper East, Upper West, Northern region. They can't find the project.
It's actually 99,000 Ghana cedis, a little over 99,000 Ghana cedis. But yes, you have a
they can't find it. It's not me. It's not me saying. Public Interest and Accountability Committee. It is a creature of a law. That committee. They are not joking. And year in and year out, go and read their reports. They have continuously, persistently, and consistently indicted the finance minister.
There were similar reports by PIAC in 2006. I think I recall that. In 2007 as well. That suggested that, well, not all that was being touted was actually what was on the ground. And that was under an MPP government.
Come on, let me take you on. Seriously. You said what? Did you say what?
There have been reports.
You said 2006?
2006, yes.
2007?
Yes, in 2007. Those 2 years.
Please. PIAC is a creator of the Petroleum Revenue Management Act that was enacted in 2012 or 2013. So 2006, 2007, there was nothing like PIAC in any way, if you care to know, and your viewers care to know. We started oil production in this country 2010, last quarter in 2010, that we lifted our first shipment. So there had never been oil revenue for PIAC to report on from 2006, 2007.
So let me bring you a bit of this story on the front page of the final newspaper. It has to do with the oil cash projects that are missing. Enter the child.
Let us make this point clear. You made a very serious disparaging statement saying that 2006, 2007, Piak indicted NPP government, and that is palpably false. You made a false statement, and it must be falsely made so.
Just a second.
It's unfortunate you made that kind of thing.
Oil cash projects.
You couldn't have. How can you? Piak was not in existence in 2006. There was no oil revenue in 2006.
I understand your
point. You accept that?
I understand your point.
You accept that? And apologize to our viewers. I apologize to our viewers because we cannot.
Let me bring.